Good morning and welcome to ASI's Tuesday morning show, where ASI's most outspoken editors talk promo products. I'm Melinda Lagos, editor-in-chief of ASI's magazines. It is cold in Trevose today, Andy Cohen.
Oh, yes,
it is.
it is.
Cold in New York State, where you hail from?
Yes. Yeah,
It's
it's
like
same
20
temperature.
It's 22 degrees. It's like 15. It feels like 15. You know how they say that?
Yeah.
Because of
The wind chill factor.
Yeah, this is not good. We
No.
haven't even hit Thanksgiving yet.
No,
Michelle, what do you think of this?
I don't like it. One little bit.
All right. Well, we have
One little bit.
We have a great show for you today. Joe Haley is here.
Yep.
Managing editor. Joe,
I am.
you've got some special projects to show us.
Products.
And we've got a great call-in question today, which is, are you practicing cognitive diversity? Andy Cohen, what is that for those of us who are unaware?
Well,
Say
you know
a
what
new
regular
business buzzword.
diversity is, right? What's traditional diversity?
Oh, so this is thinking differently.
Ah,
Different thinkers.
Aha.
Kathy Houston, very good. So, there's a movement now that companies should be practicing what people are calling cognitive diversity, which is essentially hiring people of different thought. So
Absolutely.
not necessarily people that might agree with every position that you take as a manager, but have other views.
And this was a hot topic at the ASI Power Summit this fall. I know that our keynoter touched on it, and our futurist spoke to it and said that this is really, companies have traditionally thought about, okay, you need diversity, but it's really cognitive diversity that companies really need to move forward.
That's right.
So we'll be talking about that. If you have any thoughts about that or want to tell us about your cognitive diverse staff, is that the right way to term it?
Cognitively diverse?
Cognitively diverse. Thank you.
Why am I the only one that can talk today? That's unusual.
How about this? How about people of different thought?
Yes. Do you have that on your team? We want to know about it, or maybe you don't, and you want to find out how to find it. So call us, 215-953-4979, if we put you on the air today. Joe, what can you win?
Well, if you are our lucky caller of the day, we're going to pick the best caller, and they will win the fabulous prize bag.
Which includes?
We have a new 5-in-1 charging buddy. We have some drinkware. We have Joe Show sunglasses. We have...
Nope. Not yet.
Not yet.
Would you just stop jumping the gun?
All right, so you get a prize pack chock full of prizes. Joe, what else do you have on tap for today's show?
We have a new business trend called upcycling, and I'm sure it's not bicycling uphill. We're going to look at the worst.
Maybe it is.
It could be riding
find
uphill
out.
with
Could be.
cognitive people.
Cognitive people.
We have the worst brand fails on Twitter. We're also going to look at marketing tactics that stand the test of time. We also have 5 ways to ensure your marketing videos will suck. We have
5 ways to ensure they'll suck.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Then
In other words,
They're
don't
do
make
the
these
opposite.
I get it.
We got 10 things that the best leaders never say. We have traits you need if you want to work from home. We have also our favorite things. But let's start with the industry news in 60 seconds. Andy.
All right. Thank you, Joe. We begin this morning with general economic news and a good sign for the health of the economy. The U.S. Small Business Administration said last week that it approved a record number of loans this year. By the end of its fiscal year on September 30th, the SBA lent out $19.19 billion, an increase of 8% over last year. Further, 2 separate surveys this week show small business confidence near its height of the last 7 years. Distributor Financial News Now, top 40 firm Proforma said it recorded sales of $40 million last month, which was the highest monthly result in its history and was an increase of 11% over the same time period last year. Through the first 10 months of 2014, Proforma says its sales have increased by 13%. Top 40 Supplier News Now, Sanmar announced that it has opened a new warehouse in Phoenix. The facility is the supplier's 8th warehouse across the country, and it will help Sanmar expedite shipping to customers in the Southwest. Sourcing and Shipping News Now, in a labor dispute, dock workers at West Coast ports have begun a slowdown of their operations. While both sides have asked the government to mediate, no movement has been made to come to an agreement just yet. Check out Promogram today for some industry reaction. And finally, make sure to check out the latest episode of The Joe Show in Promogram today. Joe, what is hot for today?
And they got these really cool like cocktail menu holders and check holders.
All right. So
Really cool
we'll
and
be calling
innovative.
on restaurants
The
with
one that was
those.
my favorite product of the week last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
It's all come full circle. Check it out in
Yeah,
Promogram
put them on
today.
the Joe Show. Then it'll be in Advantages Magazine.
All right. Thank you, Andy. We are going to take your calls now. The question of the day is, are you practicing cognitive diversity? In other words, are you hiring people who think in different ways than perhaps you do? And we have Stanley on line 3. Good morning, Stanley.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Then he tells me it's cold out there.
Brr.
I love it.
Yes. Well, the question I have for you is not so much about am I hiring people or am I working with people that have cognitive diversity? What happens is this the same comparison? Yeah, I've noticed that some of my clients that I go and visit, they can't make it. In other words, they have everybody that has so many different opinions about how they want to promote their business, and they can't come to a common ground on making a decision, and they're going in 9 different directions. Is that similar to what you're talking about from the other side?
No, I think that's a problem with your client.
Yeah, that seems they're indecisive.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when you have a very diverse organization, then there could be people of different opinions, and that could lead to some of that. Yeah, that could lead to some of that, but there has to be somebody that ultimately makes a buying decision or comes to a conclusion. I think the whole point of cognitive diversity is for managers to get a variety of opinions and then wade through them and then decide what the best course of action is. It sounds like your clients are having trouble deciding what that best course of action is, and that sounds like maybe they just don't have a good enough sort of buying process in place to know who's supposed to make that decision. That just sounds like something that your clients could be struggling with a little bit.
Maybe you can help them make the decision or make it for them.
Yeah.
Got it. And is that some of the power that some of the larger distributor companies, the Geigers that I promote use, and all the big, what I call the big groups, is that the benefit to groups like those because they have their management is hopefully bringing in different angles of thought to how to lead this industry?
I don't think it has anything to do with the size of a company. I think certainly if you're a 1-person or 2-person business, then it's hard to be extremely diverse in thought. But as any company grows, even from 5 to 10 people, you can be hiring people of different thoughts and different backgrounds. And that's really the key to this, is that when you have people of different backgrounds, then you'll probably have some different views on how to approach your business. So I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with the size of the company. I think companies of all sizes struggle with this and also probably do it well. So not necessarily has anything to do with the size of the business, I don't think.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling, Stanley, and hopefully we'll speak with you again soon. We're going to take another call on line 2. We have Caleb. Good morning, Caleb.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. Caleb, what's your question?
So what are some strategies I can use during the interview process to find people who are, I guess the word would be cognitively different from myself and the couple staffers that I have?
Yeah, I think the interview questions are really important here, and asking, I think posing challenges, to the person would be one way. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's good. I think that you have to be careful because there's some questions that you simply can't ask during an interview,
Right.
but posing scenarios is a good way to do it.
Yeah, what would you do in this situation? You can see if they're a risk taker or not a risk taker. And I guess you first need to find out what diversity you're looking for. Maybe you have, a bunch of type A personalities already on your staff, and you're looking for maybe someone more creative or someone looking to push the envelope. And if that's the case, that you want to design questions around that. So I guess the first thing is really to find out, where you're lacking, and then develop questions based on that, which means you really do have to customize your questions for each interview, and you can't just ask the same questions you've always asked during interviews. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think?
I would also have any candidate walk you through, how they completed a project, how the idea was conceived, and, how the project then went from start to finish. Make them sort of tell you a story about their work experience and how a successful project came to be and then was completed. That might give you some insight into how they operate, how many people they had to deal with along the way,
Sure.
What their sort of processes are to getting things done. If it's a salesperson that you're interviewing, maybe their biggest client win, how they got that, what kind of groups within the company that they were working at they had to work with as far as customer service or any other department that was part of the client win. I think making them walk you through their experiences and how they came about can give you some good insight into what their views are and how they operate.
Yeah, I'd also ask what was their favorite part about their last job and what was their least favorite part about their last job, because that could give you
That'll give you some insight. The other thing is I would make sure, if you're not already doing this, to have a number of people on your staff interview the person if you have a larger staff. I mean, if say that we want people who are really cheerful and optimistic, like Miss Kathy Houston. We would want her to screen.
Why do we want more people like
that?
that?
Right, or say we want, people like Michelle.
Like Michelle.
We have people like me. Their name is Andy.
Who is?
But, you've got a diverse staff already, hopefully, and so you would want a diverse staff interviewing those people. So anyway, Caleb, I hope that gives you some ideas. Thank you so much for calling. And we're going to go to line 1 now, where we have Nora on the phone.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Hi, Nora.
Good. Hey, yeah, I'm lucky that I work with a group that's culturally and generationally diverse. So I was wondering how I can leverage this cognitive diversity.
Andy.
Wow.
Well, he was moving toward the microphone.
Right.
So.
Also, words like leverage are just your words. So we just
I would suggest that the company just needs to be as open as possible to everybody's ideas. So if it's a brainstorming session, or if you're struggling with a specific client, maybe you can open up that sort of client relationship to a group of people to try to get ideas on how it can be approached and how you can get the most out of it. I'm sure you'll get various viewpoints as if you do that. I think the key is to just have a culture that is open to new ideas and acts on them. Let it, not just the fact that you're hearing ideas, but also that you're actually implementing them.
Well, yeah, it's no
that's the
good to
key.
have cognitive diversity if you don't use it then.
Right. So I think the key is just trying to open up the floor, so to speak, as much as possible, and let all those people that you have who have different backgrounds and different views share their views, and then you as the manager, then, like we were saying to our first caller, weigh those and determine the best way to go. That's why you'd be the manager. But getting them and letting them kind of speak it out, getting those ideas from them and letting people speak it out is probably the key.
All right. Well, good luck. Thanks so much for calling, Nora. And Michelle, I know we have some Facebook comments to this as well.
We do. I would just add on to what Andy said. Don't do what I do if you want to encourage people to speak differently.
Don't be like Michelle.
Don't give out dum-dums to people who ask stupid questions in your office.
No, she doesn't
Yeah.
give them out. She doesn't
Yeah.
give them out. She throws them at you.
Well, there's that.
She throws them.
So don't do that.
Well, you do.
If you want to encourage cognitive
I
diversity.
mean, some people like candy. I don't know.
Maybe people need to know when they've presented a stupid idea.
Well, that
Then
goes against everything
it goes
you just
said.
said.
Yeah.
There are no stupid ideas
Don't.
in brainstorming.
Only stupid people.
There are that you added in brainstorming.
In
at the end.
brainstorming.
There are stupid ideas in practicality. There can be stupid ideas.
Well, but you want to create a culture where ideas are welcomed,
Where nobody's
at
afraid to
any
give
time,
their
and
ideas.
people are
Or get
comfortable.
hit in the head by
And
a
you
dum-dum.
don't have to execute all
agree
the
with that.
ideas. So let's go with it. Let's go with it, Andy.
I'll go with it. Fine.
Okay.
So
Michelle, what do we have?
Ryan Schad has a question for us. How does one become cognitively diverse or encourage that if he's a solo entrepreneur? So how can he surround himself with that kind of different kind of mentality? Do you think it would be to have kind of his own little mentoring cadre of people, or
Yeah,
to
I think so.
look for clients that are more diverse?
I'd
More
say,
kind-
well,
I wouldn't. I don't think you can worry about it from a client perspective, especially one-person business. You probably just want whoever clients they're accepting you as their vendor.
So then he's asking, how can he get in that different mindset to deal with clients if he's a solo guy?
I think he needs to schedule coffee twice a week with a variety of different business contacts and friends and people who are not of the same mindset as his.
Yeah.
Just to bounce things off. And, hopefully, he knows he has a friend or someone who's also has a business and he can do that with. Or maybe he could join a local business networking
Networking,
club
yeah.
where you can meet a lot of other
Toastmasters.
small business people. But I think that's a good practice anyway if you're a solo person, just to get out of your,
Right.
your one-person pod for a while, but that's what I would recommend.
Also connect with people via social media, especially LinkedIn. It's where a lot of professionals are hanging out, and not just people within this industry, other distributors and suppliers, but you might want people in different industries you might be serving or might be of value to you.
It's a good question, though.
It is. And Jennifer Moyer says, I'm sure we all do this every day in the field or try to. While your support team may be on the same wavelength as you, your clients will not always be. So it's imperative for you to be able to work with anyone and everyone and tweak your style so that they feel comfortable with you.
Yeah, that's a great comment. All right. Well, we are going to take a break for a minute for a message from today's show sponsor. And when we return, Kathy's going to tell us what upcycling is all about.
At ASI, we know that education is the key to success, so we're excited to announce our newly reimagined online learning center. Log in and test the all-new intuitive interface. Share photos, stories, and communicate with other ASI members who are learning along with you. Expand your knowledge with wikis, discussion boards, and more than 350 courses, which include valuable marketing and sales information. And for your convenience, the Online Learning Center now uses a single sign-on access like your other ASI services. Best of all, it's free. Become an industry expert and see what's new on the ASI Online Learning Center at www.asicentral.com/online-learning.
Welcome back to ASI's Tuesday Morning Show. And guys,
There's nothing as good on a Tuesday morning as hearing Joe say the word wiki.
Wiki. I know.
All right.
It's very,
And us all
Takes me
doing
back to
very
my
entertaining.
takes me back to my DJ days.
Brings us back to the 80s. Jam on
Your
it.
human beatbox days.
Yeah.
I also want to announce this before it's too late in the show, but we have a really special show next week. Everyone's going to want to tune in. Do you guys know who's going to be on it? I know Michelle knows.
I do.
Lori Grenier.
Lori, yes, it's Griner, apparently.
No.
Okay, well, her agent pronounced it Griner.
It
Griner,
is. It said
Grenier.
Griner.
Really?
Anyway,
Yeah.
she,
That's not how they pronounce it on QVC.
well, on Shark Tank.
FYI.
Anyway, she's going to be on the show next week.
Wait a second. You're watching QVC?
Yeah, I watched Lori Grenier.
Wow.
Okay.
She has some good
Insight
inventions.
into the Houston household.
Well, Lori
This is why her husband.
is a superstar on Shark Tank, and she, of course, is a superstar on QVC.
Yeah.
She is going to speak at ASI Dallas in February, but she's going to be with us on our radio show next week. This
That'll
woman's
be
an
cool.
amazing entrepreneur, and I think she's going to have some great stories for us. So,
Is she the one they call the nice shark? Isn't that one they call
I
the
don't
nice
know.
shark?
she's
She's nice, though.
Yeah, she's the nicest one. Not that she always takes the deals, but she's complimentary to the people and not as nasty as some of the other ones.
Yeah.
But
I like the
she's
nastier
super
ones.
smart.
Well, you would, Andy.
Yeah.
I like the nice one.
And you would.
See, we have some cognitive diversity right in this room. Anyway, be sure to check out the show next week because she is going to be fantastic. But, Kathy, there's all this talk about a new business trend, apparently, upcycling. What is that?
Yeah, well, upcycling, it basically gives recycled goods another chance and reinvents them for another use. Start up some small businesses like Two Blokes on a Bus, I like that name, are capitalizing on the trend. Two Blokes on a Bus revived the 1950s double-decker bus from London and is using it as a food truck in Illinois, and it has sit-down dining up top. So that sounds
So,
like
wait,
a
what's
cool
the
place.
difference between that and recycling?
I don't know, really.
Well,
it says
You're
it's
recycling
recycling.
something and making it better?
You're reinventing
Maybe?
something.
Oh, okay. Upcycling. Make it. I understand. So, Two Blokes in a Bus.
Two
is
Blokes
the
on a
new-
Bus, and it says
improved
even
upon
payphones
concept.
are getting a touch-up in New York City, popping up
This is cool.
Wi-Fi
Oh.
hotspots.
Yes.
Yeah, explain that because I saw a headline on that yesterday.
Yeah. So there's going to be free Wi-Fi just on the streets of New York, all over the place.
And payphones.
And, well,
Pay-
the
phone booths.
Right, you don't have to be at the phone booth to
Right.
get it.
Yeah.
You're just that's where the hotspot's going
Right.
to be. So if you're anywhere near it, you'll be
Yeah.
able to get it. But that's certainly, I think, the wave of the future in big cities, and then it will trickle down to suburban areas. But that sort of Wi-Fi everywhere is going to happen, and it's going to
Thank
be
goodness.
It's happened
rather
in Philly
amazing.
already.
Is it?
Philly's been wired for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wired.
Yeah, wired. Wired
I
for
like
Wi-Fi.
that. I like the tricked out bus. You know that there's something in the industry now, at least in California. Memo Kahan told me about it from Promo Shop. It's a guy bought a bus and kind of tricked it out and refurbished it, and he drives around and does mobile decorating.
Oh,
So,
that's
for
pretty cool.
example, Memo had all these T-shirts he needed decorated, didn't have time to go to a
That's
shop.
cool.
Called the guy. The guy came to Promo Shop and just parked his bus and decorated them on the spot. And
Well,
now there's a
really
couple of
cool.
them in California.
That's very cool. I guess
I
we
like that.
upcycled the promo car.
Yeah,
we
that's what I
bought
was
a
thinking.
very old used Mazda.
Wait, would you call that? Would you call that upcycle?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
People love the
Okay.
promo car.
No, I'm
Um,
not saying they don't love it. I'm just not sure it's up from where it was.
Oh, it's
per
the
se.
promo car, Andy. Anyway, so cool idea. Michelle,
Yes.
brand fails on Twitter.
Oh,
and
social
did you
media.
guys watch Newsroom, by the way? Did you watch Newsroom
Cha.
Sunday night? Yeah, a girl messed up on Twitter from the Newsroom.
Because
sent
she
out
wanted
a,
retweets.
Sent out a terrible tweet. And
What
it,
did she say?
I'm surprised I haven't done that yet.
Oh, it's coming.
You gotta watch. It was a great
It's
episode.
coming.
Also, there was a nice little tirade about the use of the word literally, because God knows Aaron Sorkin loves his grammar.
Oh, that was.
And they went on a Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda was
Yeah.
fantastic. Anyway, tell us more about this.
So here's the thing about Twitter, as we all know. It can be a really good tool for brands to engage with consumers and create a friendly persona, but be careful what you wish for, because there are some examples where it can be incredibly dangerous. And most of these examples are bad timing, just things that, so a company thought that they were being clever and they tweeted something out, and simultaneously something in the news happened and kind of bit them. In other cases, though,
In
they were
other
just
cases, it's just stupidity.
dumb.
Yeah.
So there
Give
are
us
10
some
examples. I'm going to just go through a couple. There was the hashtag Why I Stayed was trending in response to, I don't know who Janae Palmer is. She was with Ray Rice. I don't know who that is
His
either.
wife.
Whatever.
She married him after he beat her to a pulp.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
on video.
DiGiorno Pizza tweeted the incredibly inappropriate hashtag Why I Stayed because you had pizza.
Yeah, that was
And
ridiculous.
Twitter went
Super
nuts.
Really?
You're looking at me like I have three heads.
No,
yeah,
'cause
no,
it's
it's
so
real though. I know, it's real.
That's their own stupidity.
Yes. Qantas Airlines tweeted a seemingly innocent message using the hashtag Qantas Luxury, but it happened the day after its entire fleet was grounded because of labor disputes.
Oh,
Bad
not so
timing.
good.
Yeah.
Not so good.
Kenneth Cole, the designer, tweeted an insensitive joke during the revolutions in Egypt. The quote was on Twitter, "Millions are in uproar in hashtag Cairo. Rumor is they heard our new spring collection is now available online."
Yeah.
Needless to say, people in Egypt not so happy.
Did that come from his
Wow.
personal account
No,
or from
well,
the company
the corporate
account?
account.
The corporate
The
account?
corporate account,
Wow.
correct. And then the New York City Police Department, trying to get some positive PR on Twitter for themselves, asked people to tweet photos of cops that they would see out on the streets. And people responded en masse by posting photos of cops, perhaps tasing people and things that
Oh my
aren't
God.
so positive. So it was really a negative backlash because people kind of jumped on it for the wrong reason and started tweeting. Certainly there's lots of stuff that the police do that are good, but people were posting things that, had them in compromising positions.
Wow, my favorite kind of bad Twitter fail recently. Dallas played in
Yeah.
the UK.
Dallas, UK, yeah.
So they had made encouraged people to tweet with the hashtag Dallas UK,
UK.
which Philly fans were like, oh, it says Dallas suck. So a lot of people tweeted to that and got a kick out of it.
I think a lot of what that was just a sort of funny little
Unfortunate.
error.
Yeah, it
but
wasn't.
a lot of what these companies miss is that people are just itching on Twitter to use their negative sense of humor. And so when there's a hashtag that they can jump on, they jump on it often in a negative way. And then it does you
There's
have
no
unintended
control.
well,
consequences.
and then
there's
the
no
viral
control.
thing
Right.
goes.
Right. So there's major unintended
Yeah.
consequences to introducing a hashtag that could then be used in other ways.
I think that companies and entities are still trying to grapple with the fact that once you're asking for participation on social media, you have no control over that.
Right.
What's
You
going to
have
happen
be
is what's going to
willing
happen.
Yes.
Exactly.
All right, let me
But
give
you
you one more
certainly don't
example.
want to put yourself in a bad position
No.
as some of these companies did.
So, who watches Dr. Oz? You would strike me as somebody who watches Dr.
No.
Okay, so Dr. Oz
I don't.
tweeted out. He tweeted on the bottom of his show in the little ticker that goes by, asking viewers to send in questions that he would answer live on the show. So somebody asked questions like, if weight loss miracles are miracles, who put you in charge of controlling people God's work? Lots of questions like that. So there was no filter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The questions just came pouring in, and there was no one to kind of selectively choose, real questions from
Right.
kooky quesquestions.
Right. There was a major success though from that was recent on Twitter, and it was from Chevrolet. They at the end of the World Series, they had a guy. I don't know why he was chosen, but he got like the short straw, and he was just some random regional manager, and he was chosen to give the MVP award after the World Series ended, and so he's in the locker room giving the MVP award, and this guy was a total disaster. I mean, just like sweating, fumbling over his
It
words.
didn't help that he looked like
He looked like Chris. He looked like Chris Farley.
Or Rob Ford.
Or Rob Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was. I mean, he was a total mess. He's looking down at notes he's got on a note card, and I mean, it couldn't have been easier. All you need to do is congratulate the guy next to you. But he's trying to do a promotion, and he says that the new car that he's promoting has all this technology and stuff. And that's what he actually said. He just used the word technology and stuff because he just couldn't remember what else he wanted to say.
Poor guy.
And people started just demolishing him and Chevy on Twitter.
Aw.
And meanwhile, Chevy ran with it, and they put the hashtag out, technology and stuff.
Aw.
And it was
Well,
part
that's
of
smart.
all of their
Yeah.
online promotions for like the next whole week, and they really ran with it in a way. So you have to, if you're a brand, you almost have to
Yeah.
run with the negativity
Well, that
and
shows
kind of
you're good-
embrace it.
Yeah, you're
you know?
good-natured about it.
So
Yeah.
here's the worst example, and I'm going to show it to Andy, but I'm certainly not going to read it. So that's
Well-
just.
All right, can we put it online?
Now we'll have radio
I don't know.
silence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we're not going to
Yeah.
be putting that
Let me
on.
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
be careful with social media.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
okay.
No.
That must be really bad. All right, Joe Haley.
Yo, what?
You're our video expert here, so
Oh,
you're going
yes.
to talk about ways to ensure that your marketing video will suck, or perhaps you'll tell us how to make it not
Okay,
suck.
so 81% of the companies out there are actually producing video content somehow and posting it
How
to
many-
their
how
website.
many?
81%.
Yeah.
69 are using it in the social media. So number one, the video takes too long to get to the point. They say the attention span for a video is 60 seconds. If you haven't gotten to the point of your video within 60 seconds, it is going to be clicked off. The
That's
video,
long, I think, actually, 60 seconds. I would think
to
it's-
get into it, you
yeah,
have to get
yeah,
into
yeah.
it. I would
Yeah,
say get
I
into
agree
it
with that.
10,
10
15, 10, 15 seconds
Yeah.
in. The video content is inauthentic. So in other words, you can't be out there and be someone who you're not. Be who you are. Be true to yourself. Be true to who your client is. Embrace who you are and what you actually offer. People relate to and engage with that content, Andy. Distracted noises on the audio. While they say like a little bit of a fuzzy picture will be okay, bad audio will just put you right in the delete button. So a simple shot of you speaking in front of a nice background will never be distracting. And they say the iPhone is great. You don't need a fancy camera. So they suggest rather than spending the money on a camera, spend the money on a microphone that will work with the iPhone. Okay. The intent of the video is not clear. Why are you putting the video out? You never want to do something just to put a video out for, to put a video out. There's got to be a reason for why it is, which goes back to, number one. And then viewers can't take immediate action. You got to make sure, one, there's a call to action, but now the thing is called smart video. Have you ever been watching a video and a little ad pops up? And if you don't click specifically on that X, it launches,
Yes.
another landing page. So that's smart video. So, that's a new
It's
technology. that-
annoying, though.
It can be annoying, yeah, because you got to click that X and you miss, which I
Right.
do all the time because I don't have good eyes. But anyway,
It's annoying because it's an ad that's ultimately meant to trick people in some respects, and that the advertising and marketing,
People don't like to
if
be
it's
tricked.
done
No.
if it's done with the idea of tricking people, then you have a flawed strategy to begin with. It just that doesn't make sense. If you're trying to trick people into buying or clicking something,
Right.
then you're just searching for clicks, and what's the point?
so I think that but the authenticity too. I mean, you are who you are. If you're happy, you're happy. If
You're
Joe
Joe
Gill-
from the Joe Show.
I am.
And that's who you are.
That's
on
who
the
I
video.
am. Everyone knows that. So that if I have a little mistake here and there, a stammer here and there, it's like, oh, that's who I am. I'm imperfect,
right.
Andy. I can't give any more
But
than
we
what I'm giving.
love you anyway.
Well, I love
Joe.
you,
Well,
even though you don't call. When you
Joe,
put
we're
those
going to
tips.
put those tips online at asicentral.com/radio. And now the editors are going to talk about their favorite product of the week. Kathy, what do you have?
Oh yeah, well award season is on the horizon in the near future, and there's a new awards supplier in town called Milestone Recognition, ASI 71173. They offer all types of awards, clocks, pen sets, acrylic crystal, golf, etc. So they'd work for any celebration.
All right.
That's it.
Andy.
Okay, so wellness plans, corporate wellness plans are big these days as companies have healthcare costs that are increasing, so they're trying to incentivize their employees to live healthy lifestyles. This would be a great idea to kick one of those campaigns off. It's a wallet-style first aid kit that contains bandages and towelettes and a handy first aid guide. Check it out online now at asicentral.com/radio. It comes from Innovation Line, which is ASI 62660.
Joe, you're holding yours up.
I am. This is hand sanitizer with a carabiner clip. And inside there, Melinda, you see those little red and green beads?
I do.
That is
Look at that.
moisturizer. So when you use this, if it's alcohol-based, you can dry out your hands. This one, because it's got the moisturizing beads. We're coming into cold and flu season. In the beginning of the year, it's going to be trade show season for a lot of different industries. It's a great giveaway for a trade
You
show
could
booth.
hang this on a Christmas tree.
You could, and it's great to give to your employees. It's great for schools and stuff because you want to make sure that your hands are free of germs when you're shaking hands with lots and lots of people.
That would be
during
good
that
for
trade
wellness
show.
plans too.
It would be, Andy. You can find us from Snugs USA, ASI 88060, and find them online at snugsusa.com.
All right, Michelle, what do you have?
I have one of our newest pieces that is going to be in our updated prize pack as of January of next year, and it is from Debco, and it is a detangler for all your cords. So there's little slots on every side of this, and it's ASI 4885, and as I said, as of January, it'll be part of our prize pack for people who call in or send us Facebook comments that we read.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing. All those products are on asicentral.com/radio. We are out of time. Thanks to today's show sponsor, ASI Education. Thanks for listening, and be sure to tune in next week when Lori Greiner from Shark Tank and QVC will be joining us on the show. Have a great week, everyone.